Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. All right, guys, happy Friday. Today is an interesting day. We're loving the markets today. So plenty to talk about. My sons all graduated. That was awesome. So I was kind of just peeking at the markets here and there throughout the day, but finally got back and we're all ready to go. So yeah, just definitely go to cryptoinfluencers.com. My free channel is here and the pro channel's here. Once you're on the pre-channel, hit open chat and join the conversation over here. It's pretty cool that we're starting to get a little bit more chatter, which is exactly what I was hoping to do with these $25 giveaways. Just put your Ethereum address in here. And if you want to talk or whatever, just go to general chat under the Calvin Waite channel. So I've had some questions from Cine, and I figured I better answer some of these. So he says, "Hi Calvin, I just found your channel. Do you have a video to explain what is included in the Pro monthly membership?" And I don't have like a specific one. The point of the Pro membership is to show you how I trade. So nothing really helps you know how to trade than watching somebody who does it for a living. And what kind of makes it different, a lot of channels will be out there teaching education. They'll show you how indicators work, and they'll talk you through this and that. This is a buy signal, this is a sell signal. But very few people really show you how to take profits. Very few people will show you what to do when things are wrong. The strategy on using margin is kind of something I've developed myself. I have my own indicators, but I have a whole mix. And so all of my trades, you get all my logic and my reasoning, and I do all my trades in real time. That is so unusual to have somebody actually trade in front of you, because most people, they make more money teaching people how to trade. They're kind of the selling the shovels type of thing, rather than I'm going to show you how to mine the gold itself. And so that's what makes my channel different, is I'm showing you where I'm putting my buys and sells. And it's a patient strategy. So there are times when my account's upside down for a while, but slowly over time, it's just an ATM. It's so cool. But it's not without risk, so you have to kind of know where you're at on that. Are there additional video trainings with the membership? Not really, because as I'm trading and as you watch the decisions that I'm making, you'll naturally understand what's happening and how to do it. And then there was a question about Bitcoin dominance. Should we always buy altcoins paired with Bitcoin? I'm using the USDT markets. And the reason why is because it makes more sense to my followers, and also I can use leverage on the spot exchange or on MEXC Global, and so and I teach you how to use all of that. Can a newbie like me easily follow your trades? Yes, because I'm trading. I record everything I do, and I do all of my trades live. So once a day I'll do that. And then he asked the question, what are the days and time to follow live trades? The video is recorded, so you can go back and watch everything, and it's not a big rush. You can make the trade anytime within 24 hours, and it's still good. But we do them when the market closes. It's 6 o'clock Mountain Time or 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And so then there was a few more questions. I need clarity. So yes, it is 8 o'clock Eastern Time. How long are your trading sessions each day? It depends on how many trades there are. Sometimes we're done in like 20 minutes, half an hour. Sometimes it takes us a full hour if there's a lot of trades to be made. I trade 100 coins, so it takes a little while sometimes. Plus, I like to talk about where I think we're going and what we're doing. Can the free version of TradingView work, or do I have to get the pro? The free TradingView will work just fine. I think you can add up to only 3 indicators, But if you have the Kelvin moving indicators, it's just one indicator. So you're usually pretty good with that. I already have MEXC, but never used the futures portion. Will actual trading on the futures account be on the spot, or do you have videos to learn? So all of my trades are on the futures side. And I'll talk you through when I'm making trades, you know what I'm doing and what my thought process is there. What do you use to screen share your live trades? I use Zoom. So if you want to join the Zoom with the Pro channel, you can hop on. It happens at 6 o'clock Mountain Time every day except for Sunday. No, I don't do any trading on Sunday, just out of respect for that day. And then will there be Q&As with us during your live trades, or do you just watch? So the video itself, I don't do any QAs, so I can get the video published and out to those who didn't join the live. But afterwards, I'll hang out and we'll do all the QAs you want. In fact, there's a handful of the members of the Pro channel that ask really good questions after, and it's almost, I seriously am thinking about recording those question and answer sessions, because we really get deep into some of the psychology, and really it's kind of cool. So I'll have to really think about that. Is the Pro channel chat answered by you or someone else? It is by me. And how many trades do you make each day? Depends on the day. Sometimes we make 0, sometimes we'll make 100 trades. Usually that's not the case. Most of the trades I make, I'm holding for a month or two. So I'm waiting for things to mature whenever I take a risk. And then do you keep a trading journal for all of your trades? No, but my balance slowly goes up, and I make a living doing this. I've done it for 6 years full time, and I've traded Bitcoin since 2012. So hopefully that gets your answers there. And then final thing before we talk about our day, Wednesdays are live stream. You can ask a bunch of these questions on the live. I don't mind answering questions there when I'm kind of out there available. Okay, let's look at this day. Yesterday we were really hoping for a turnaround, and we kind of needed one because we already slipped. First of all, we slipped below this line, which I was hoping would hold. It would have been unbelievable if we could have held this. But we slipped down and we dropped, and then we held this. And I was like, oh, I really, really want to hold this. And we ended up not. And so we dropped again. And then we kind of slipped below the 100 at close. We'd been holding just above it all day long, and finally at the end, we kind of lost it. And so I was like, oh man, this is not good. This is not good at all. But what happened right at close is we had this weird spike down. It was a full selling climax, and then we rebought it back up really fast. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the 1 minute chart. And sometimes you'll see these quick moves, and they are specifically calculated to form bottoms. See this? See how we just plummeted down and then we returned back up? It's very, very, whenever I see a coin randomly spike up and then reverse the entire thing, I'm like, oh crap, I think that's our top, you know what I mean? But the opposite happens on the bottom. So here's a situation where we just suddenly, without any warning, dropped off, and this was at 38 minutes past the new day. So it was sort of one of those low volume midnight marauder moves, pulled us all the way down, and then in a matter of 5 minutes, we were almost back up to where we were. 6 minutes, we had broken even with where we were before. And so this type of thing helps establish a reversal. And so during the question and answer portion of the Pro channel yesterday, I was like, hey guys, we might have got our little bounce we needed to finally have a green day. And since then, we've been moving on up. We've had a little volatility earlier today, so we have been a little bit up and down. This move here was because of the unemployment numbers that came out this morning. Market wasn't sure how to react, and so we kind of zigzagged around, and then we finally had a little bit of a drop off. But then we've gone up ever since. Like, we've been climbing all day until now. And the question is, will we hold this? And that's a good question. We really want to. We really, really want to. Because if I'm looking at the daily, we currently have recaptured our 100 and our 20. If we could do that by end of day, which is 4 hours from now. So, I mean, we got a long time to actually hold this. But man, if we could hold it, it would be phenomenal. These areas will be support from a technical basis if you go down one day and recover the very next day. So it'd be really nice to hold this as support. But yeah, so far we are matching the candle from yesterday, and I hope we can exceed it. Ethereum looks unreal. Look at this. We're back to our resistance line. We have a very, very decent chance of closing on this line. Ethereum is in breakout mode. Anyone looking at this is going to say, yeah, we're done going down. We're working our way back up. We have a flip from resistance to support here. Now we're testing a new higher high. That is a recipe for some upside. So Ethereum just looks picture perfect. Super, super excited about that. Bitcoin's been a little lazy. It's only up 1.5%, where Ethereum's up 2.5%. So what does that mean? That means that our Ethereum Bitcoin is just soaring. We hit resistance yesterday at the 200, and currently we're trading higher than it. If we hold this, it'll be phenomenal, because look at these big fat lines here. This is the 50-week and the 100-week. If we start testing the 50 and 100 weeks and hopefully trying to get above it, this whole market, we might be done on our 2-year, declining resistance that we've been dealing with. So yeah, some really cool things happening in our charts. There is something. This is the purpose of this video. I actually had one thing I wanted to talk about. But I wanted to kind of give a brief overview of what the markets are doing. Our Bitcoin dominance is still dropping, even though Bitcoin's rising, and Ethereum is carrying the alts like crazy. On the others, we're finally getting a big green candle, and others' dominance is finally showing signs of life for the first time in a long time. So we're starting to get our way out. If we start, if we exit the red zone on others' dominance and the others starts to turn around, we're gonna have an alt season. We're well overdue. Alt seasons usually last. They happen maybe once in 4 to 6 months. And our most recent high happened in February. So we're June, like we're due for an alt season. So this is, it could potentially be the start. We'll watch closely to see. All right, I have something very questionable. From a TA perspective, this is going to seem very, very speculative. But I'll just tell you what I think, and you guys formulate what you think you're seeing. I'm wondering if we are doing a Wyckoff right now. And let me explain. So there are two types of Wyckoff events. There's the distribution and there's the accumulation. Distributions happen when we are when the prices are high. We've just marked up, and whales are selling high to distribute their coins, and they're preparing the market for a sudden move to the downside. Now, I want you to look at this chart and see if you see this situation. First of all, we did get our buying climax. Yes, we found our area of first support. So here's our first support, and then we have a little bit of a move sideways. This feels like an up thrust, and then we had this last point of supply, and now we should be seeing some kind of a downside. Well, I kind of feel like we did all that right here, and we dropped to the downside here, but we had too much support. And so because of that, we came back up and we tried again, and it didn't happen. And I feel like we're past phase E already. This was phase E. So this does not feel like distribution to me. So let's go look at another schematic. Going the wrong way. Here's a different view of the same type of thing. This is where you kind of have these slightly higher highs, and then you have a climax, and then you drop. We did not do that unless, yeah. So in other words, this up thrust after distribution can be swapped with our last one here. Kind of have this happen. But we've already done this, and this was our distribution. This was phase E. So now hear me out. And I want to see if you are picking up what I am. This is my theory of what is happening. So what we've done, so there is no phase A, which is what makes this already speculative. We didn't get a drop down into this formation, but I feel like the bears have done their thing and the distribution has already happened. And if it's not a distribution, is it an accumulation? So I want you to look at this chart. We have, barring the fact that we didn't drop down into this formation, there are a lot of things that are looking pretty interesting. Here we have movement up right in here. We kind of have this initial establishment of our trading range. So that's what this section is usually for. And then we have sort of a breakout, something that kind of, it's sort of the final bull trap that we've dropped so far. We're going to bounce really hard, and people are like, oh, we're getting our dead cat bounce. I need to get on this. And then everyone gets faked out, and then we drop. That feels a lot like this move. See what I'm seeing right here? I hope you can see my cursor. It's this upper point right up here. And then we drop back down into our trading range. And in this case, we dropped a little bit lower. So let's just take all of this as one sort of move. But we've kind of dropped down from here, and we didn't really drop out. So this bottom didn't really happen. But we're kind of chopping inside of this range. That's exactly what this feels like. And then we start having these little drops out. See this move down here? This was on, let's see what this was, May 12th. This May 12th here is potentially the same as, let me pull my thing back up again. This May 12th feels like one of these, what are these called? Secondary tests. So this was definitely, it kind of felt like a test because we dropped down and we were testing to see if the bottom of our range was intact. And it held really well. But then we came up and we started zigzagging a little bit more, and we had established a pretty solid base. So we were really trading really well within our range. And then we had this move. It was the May 24th. So I'll zoom a little bit in so you can see. But this move here dropped us so fast, and it got us right down to the 200 week, and we really threatened to move down. And you know what that feels like emotionally? Emotionally, it feels like our spring. See this here? This feels like our spring. So what I think is happening, and then guess what happened? We popped back up right into our trading range. In fact, it was really high into our trading range. So there's right after the spring, you start moving up into this phase D area where we start threatening new highs, and we start testing the upper limits of our boundary. Well, our original trading range was below this blue line, and we went right up to the top of the blue line. See how cleanly we did this? Right up to the top of our blue line, and then we came back down. And this is starting to feel way more like accumulation than it does distribution. It is looking very, very strongly like we are in the final phase of an accumulation. Well, the last phase of accumulation is full markup. I think we're preparing for a new move up. And we've had a couple of fake outs to the downside to try to scare people into going short, and nothing has broken. And this is why I went long in the first place. Like, this is why I got bullish and went long in this market, is because we had traded for so long and we had so many chances to break down, and we just didn't do it. And whales will take advantage of fear in the market. If there's a chance for it to fall, they will definitely crush it if the market will support it. And this test, this secondary test that happened on May 12th, was the purpose of it was to test to see how much fear was in the market, and it got bought right back up. So whales are like, they're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I don't think there's enough fear in this market yet to really drop this out. I think people are kind of a little bit in a situation where they're anticipating a little bit more upside. So they need to throw some wrenches at us. They need to throw some wrenches. And this section right here gets really volatile and really unpredictable. And so we're starting to do some tests at the top of our range. We're starting to get really volatile, and potentially we're ready to start marking up. Well, after you hit your spring, you start zigzagging a bit and you start re-establishing old support lines as support. Look at this one. This support line, I'll just draw it just so we've got a temporary line in here. Like, this thing is pretty spot on. See this? This is an old support line that was support, and then we dropped below it for our spring, and then we popped right back in. We came back down and we're still holding it as support. So it makes it feel like there is structure here, even though we got ourselves a fake out. And what's really cool about this is that the top of our trading range is here. I'm going to pull this down just for visual's sake. I mean, this trading range that we have been playing in for a long time, we're now trading back in that same range. And we've established it with this high, which was absolute perfection. It absolutely got right there. And then we've pulled down, like, we're back reestablishing our trading range. So there are people that, are concerned about us dropping, but I think whales are accumulating. And if, how do I know this is true, or how would I get confirmation? We would have to see a markup, because at this point we've made it through all the cycles. Like, we're at the last phase. Phase E is kind of really close. I mean, you might be able to make an argument that we're still in phase D, because we're not really retesting our highs quite yet. But that should come soon, and then poof, we're gonna be out of here. So the second we get between 28,500 and about 29,500, so in this $1,000 range up here, if we get up in here, it is going to be very clear that we have a momentum shift. And a momentum shift, the way I like to define it, is when you have when you start seeing higher lows and a higher high. So we've already got a pretty sweet low right here. This spring did awesome, giving us a nice freak out moment low. And then we bounced really nicely and got, higher than our prior trading range for the last, 2 weeks. Not technically higher than this, so that definitely, doesn't bode super well. But if today's a green day and we really strongly establish this as our new swing low, and it's higher than this, we have our first actual proof, actual facts in the charts, indication, something that we can point to say there is something real and tangible happening in our market that shows a reversal is in the works. So I just think it's a Wyckoff accumulation. We've had a pretty good spring. The only problem with it is that we didn't have our mark down into this situation. But there's an argument to be said that the distribution is complete. So if the distribution is complete, maybe you've got that box checked. That might be the argument, because this was our attempt at distribution and it just failed. And so then whales are like, let's see about this. And then if you look at it from an accumulation standpoint, it looks really good. One of the characteristics of an accumulation is that you make these little fake out lower lows where you have a selling climax, and then you get this moment where you've broken your selling climax, but then it never materializes. and then you break it again, like pretty severely sometimes. The springs can be pretty intense because you're like, oh man, we had support here, we had support here. Oh, we're broken. Everything's destroyed. And then we fake out and we're back in the trading range, and then they mark it up quickly so that people, don't have time. They're way upside down in their shorts, and then they switch sides, and whales just make a killing off of that. But see how we're getting these lower lows down in here, and it makes it feel like we're losing support and we're sinking, when in reality, these lower lows are providing kind of fake outs that are defining the parameters of our next move, that we're actually that a breakdown that doesn't really materialize actually shows strength. and that's kind of where I'm handing it to the bulls, and that's why I'm bullish in this market right now. So this is very, very interesting. I definitely wouldn't have thought, oh, we're doing an accumulation at the top of this move. You know what I mean? But all of the facts and figures and market movements and the emotions of the swings are sort of pointing that direction. This is still a theory, but I believe confirmation will happen if we break above 28,000. We get a close above 28,000, and suddenly we are well on our way to a markup. So very interesting. You'll have to tell me if you agree or not. I know there are some people that are really expecting the market to drop, but to be honest, we lost our chance. I mean, from this, when we really started flying. So I'm going to go from here. We really started moving up. We had a kind of a fake out top, and then we dropped. And our climax, this entire experience lasted 59 days. And so how many days have we gone from this first green move? So we're starting to move up again. We're doing the whole thing. 59 days is right here. So technically this drop here from a time perspective is our emotional release. But here, we had the same thing. 62 days in, and we had a reversal candle. 59 days in, and we had a reversal candle. This just sunk way further before we got there. This one we kind of tried, but we just couldn't break anything. And that's why I was so confused at looking at this market. I was like, man, nothing's breaking. It started making me nervous holding my short. And that's why I switched sides over here. I'm a patient trader though. I sat on this for 10 days. But yeah, we're overdue. Like, the market can resolve itself to the downside either through price action or through time. And when you give a market enough time and nothing happens, nothing breaks, we're still waiting, it's not breaking, it's still not dropping, it's still not going down, well, then your bears are exhausted. It's time for bulls to take the reins. And it wasn't super fun the past 4 days because we were really high, and I wanted to see if we could catch the markup a little sooner. But, as long as we stay above this low, which is 26,300, as long as we have our reversal above that point, then everything I'm saying holds true. Where I'm wrong is if we do break down and we actually find a new close below this, that would be really confusing. It would be a hard trade to make, because emotionally we don't know, like, we think the spring is in, and is there another spring, or is this just a bearish market that we're getting lower lows and lower highs and we're just in a bearish market? You know what I mean? So that could have easily happened if we continued to drop. Today's looking much more encouraging. So as long as we get some sort of reversal and establish this as a new swing low, and we start moving up, this is like, hang on, we might be moving up for a bit. And that's kind of what I've been speculating the entire time, that we would, do one more push before, before we have kind of a boring part of the market before the halving begins and all that stuff. But this market is maturing. It's moving along. So anyway, very, very fascinating. A lot of fun. Bitcoin looks really nice today. Ethereum just looks unreal. Like, this is like, Ethereum is like there. This looks like it's already turned the corner. We just need one day to pop us above this level here, which is at 1909. That's kind of the number. 1909.11 is my number. If we get a close above that and we start trading up in this range up here, we're out of here. We're going to see some good green numbers, and it'll be awesome. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. As far as tomorrow, it's always hit and miss, so I don't like to promise anything, but if I manage to, I'll pop in a video and say hi. But otherwise, I'm expecting more green. It's the boat I'm in. It's with the data in front of me. That's kind of what I'm looking at. So hope that gives you guys a hand. And if you guys are curious about the pro channel, you can also DM me on the chat. You can also ask, specific questions to me. But it's pretty cool. We got hi from Russia. We got, love the channels. It's pretty cool to see some new faces and people making comments in here. So you'll have to join the group. All right, you guys. We'll catch you on Monday. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.